Hello there, and a good morning from Mama Jane's husband and
Mama Jane.
And we are currently making our way back to Cape Town, having been to Namibia. Some slight disappointment in that we couldn't get into Lüderitz because of bad weather, so we've only been to Walvis Bay. And if that interests you, our experience of Walvis Bay in Namibia, then watch on. So, Mama Jane, Walvis Bay.
Walvis Bay. Now, I've watched other YouTubes about Walvis, Walvis Bay, haven't it?
Yeah.
And the seals there are so tame in a certain area that they jump onto the boat. And there they were playing with the passengers. And I thought, oh, if I could just be on a boat like that. Guess what? I was.
And did you have a whale of a time? Or did you
Not
have a seal of a
I
time?
had a seal of a time. And these seals, what happens is they're not wild eggs. Well, they are wild. They can come and go as they please. But
they prefer coming than going.
Yeah, and they prefer being on the boat because they get fed with very little effort. So before you leave the main area of water in the boat, the seals are there, and then they have to be forced off the boat.
And they've learnt that if they do a selfie with a guest on board, they get fed a fish. And they've got this routine that if they'll nudge into you, look cute, and then their photo gets taken, and then
they get a fish.
They get a fish, but they have to go. They put their face through a ladder, and then the fish appears.
And they look even more cute.
And they look even, and then they go look for somebody else to have a selfie with.
And you know, the crazy thing is, these have not been trained.
No.
They've just discovered that if they do that, so they're not at all under duress.
Yeah.
And as I said, we've all on to get them off the boat. And then when we come back from looking at the other things we'll talk about, we say, here they are, here they come again, and they're back on the boat. There's two of them in particular.
Yeah.
And so, and also the pelicans are the same. Now, they're not as cute and cuddly.
And they are wild.
And they are wild.
Yeah. They don't always appear.
No. And so, actually, most of the time they did appear when
for
we were
us.
in the area.
For us.
Yeah, for us, yeah.
But they only follow the boat so far, and then they turn
and then
back.
they give up and turn back. But but the seals were definitely the highlight.
The guide referred to the pelicans as the Namibian Air Force. The guide was fantastic.
He was
very, very funny.
He was called Mandela, and he was so funny. He was
so good.
He was the pilot of the boat, and what was the other chap's name?
I don't know.
I can't remember. But he also was very nice. Yeah.
And the seals are rescued, aren't they?
Yeah, they are rescued, but as I said, they could leave any time.
One of them was called Necklace because they'd rescued him from having a fishing net wrapped around his neck, so they called him Necklace. And they can go like there's one male that every year tries to go and mate with females, but he gets
because he's a bit little, isn't he?
He's small for a male. He gets beaten up by the larger males, and then he comes crawling back. So the story goes.
So they say, yeah.
So Walvis Bay is a very calm place. It appears to be a very calm place, very flat, and we dock. We get off the ship, got a little bit of way to walk for our excursions, and the excursion we were doing was close by. But rather than making us all walk, we had a 3-minute minibus ride. It took longer to get from the gathering of us, the group that were going on the ship, and walk into the minibus than the ride from the minibus to where our boat was. And we've got little minibuses that took us, and thankfully we're only on them for 3 minutes. And then when you get to the little port area where the little boats leave, quite a nice little area there. Watch out for people to try and sell you things. I think there's a few that are tolerated by the boat owners and the cafes around there. And then we get onto the boat, and there's small boats. There's not many of you on each boat. Plenty of room for everyone. And like Jane said, the seals are around. Watch out for the seals swimming in the harbour. And Sue, and they'll come on the boat with you. Mama Jane's got a beautiful selfie, and I've got a selfie, which is an interesting selfie of a seal, and I'll put that on as well. And then the boats leave, and like Mama Jane said, the seals go, the pelicans go, and then we went to an oyster farm, which all you could see is where the oyster farm were demarcated by drums on the surface, and the guide was explaining that they never grew oysters in Namibia until 2005. So oyster farming has become a big thing in Walvis Bay now. So, and on from there, we soon could see loads of sand from the boat. And what else could we see on the sand?
Seals. Thousands. There were thousands.
Yeah, absolutely thousands of seals.
Because they were born, the babies were born about November time, and so now they're they're big enough to see them whizzing around, and they were just.
The
so
seals.
They
seals
did not come on the
and
boat.
no seals.
They were not.
No, they were completely wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody, and we were warned constantly by the guards that even the seals that came on, the guides, I mean, not the guards, that came on the boat were wild animals.
They are wild animals
and
with
so
teeth.
Just be careful. But yeah, when we were approaching, we could see all this black on the sand. We thought, what is that? And then as we got closer, we realised
it was moving.
It was moving, and there were seals. It was immense, wasn't it? I've never seen so many seals. And the guide was telling us that there's more seals in Namibia than people.
Really?
Yeah. And they've got no natural predator. The orcas don't seem to bother with them, which is surprising. And the sharks don't come that far north, apparently.
The only predator really was seagulls, and what they will do is, and that's only when they're very little babies, is peck their eyes out, and yeah.
And there was some dead, like there was a graveyard for seals. I don't know how they were getting there, but all the dead seals were somehow all in one place, as if the live seals sort of ejected them or dragged them or somehow, but they were all away from the main body of the seals. And we saw a pair of jackals coming, didn't we?
Yeah, they only
eating one of the seals.
The dead. They don't kill, do they? They don't kill the prey. They just eat what's dead. So
it's like an all-you-can-eat buffet for jackals.
Yeah.
And there was also flamingos, weren't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the jackals also eat the flamingos, but again, only when they're dead. Again, our guide called them pink chickens.
It's no strawberry chickens.
Strawberry chickens. And again, there were loads of flamingos.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of flamingos. And we saw them doing the seals doing all sorts of tricks. We saw the flamingos flying, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we even saw a bottlenose dolphin. We didn't see a great amount of it, or her, but we did see a dolphin, didn't we?
Yeah.
Flapping around and having fun. Now, while we were on this boat, also we had refreshments.
Refreshments. We started off with. What? Did you take a picture of that bottle of?
No, I didn't.
Well, the guide said it was coffee. No,
Namibian coffee.
No, it's not Namibian coffee. Can't say it sounds if I've been drinking. It wasn't whatever. If you think of sherry, if you're a sherry drinker, a sweet sherry drinker,
Very nice.
it was like that. And it was very nice. So we had a couple of little cups
Nips of that.
And then a little bit later you could have either beer, bottle of beer, can of Coke or water. Excuse me. And then after that we had a buffet little buffet, and it was oysters, obvs, because of the oyster farm. Oysters, and then there was like pakora things, there was cheese, there was meatballs.
Yeah.
They were not really seal meatballs. He said they were. I don't know, perhaps they were. I don't know. And there was some fish. And what was the other thing? Oh, like a little wrap thing. And it was all beautifully laid out, and little wooden plates to eat it from, napkins, hand gel. So, you know, it was quite safe. And I'd actually seen the young man doing the oysters, opening them and doing them. So that was really good, and that was all included in the...
We also had Prosecco.
Oh gosh, yeah, fizz. How could I forget fizz? No, it's not like me. So that your bottles of fizz, yeah, and you could, you know, it was pretty. Well, I had 2 glasses. I don't know if you could have had a third. I don't know.
So yeah, and this was all before 12 o'clock.
About 12, 5 o'clock somewhere though.
Yeah, it was 5 o'clock somewhere. Yeah, not sure where. But...
Not in Namibia.
So on the way back, we passed a fair number of ships, and they were saying that they were waiting to offload their cargo, or they were waiting for repairs. A lot of ships came to Namibia for repairs. So a very active port, really active port. And they showed us a couple of wrecks on the way back, and then we sailed into the little harbour, and
the seals arrived again.
The seals arrived on the way back. You like the seals, didn't you?
Yeah.
Never seen you that happy for a while.
I'm easy to
Perhaps
please.
I should have flippers.
Never mind.
And then we went back on the minibus, and then we were lucky. There was still somebody touting business for a tour, and so there were some toilets just at the gate. It's very, very basic, the setup in Walvis Bay. So there were some outdoor toilets. We had a quick break there, and then we had a lovely hour's tour with this independent tour operator. I'll drop his name in for you. And we went to see some more pelicans, didn't we?
Pelicans, yeah.
Yeah. And they were saw a lot more pelicans. Quick stop there, and then we had a longer stop where we went to the salt flats for the flamingos. And boy, did we see flamingos.
So a lot of flamingos.
Whoa. And I got some terrific photos because we were quite close to the flamingos. When we were on the sand earlier, we were quite a distance. Although I might have got flamingos in the air when we were at the sand, not quite sure. And then, where did we go? Our final stop.
Dune 7, Dune 7,
yeah.
Which is an enormous, guess what, dune.
Yeah.
And that was, I don't know what to say it was really, because it was just like, wow, look at that big sand dune. And people were climbing up it and climbing back down.
Actually falling down.
Yeah. It was enormous. It was just like something, I suppose if you live somewhere in the desert, you will get huge dunes, but that was...
It was stunningly beautiful.
It was a big one, yeah.
Saw a few other things on the way there, and we saw a lot of Walvis Bay as we were going around, and it seemed very clean, quite pristine really. Lot of new build, very flat, no hills.
Apart from this dune.
Apart from this dune, yeah. But in the main city, it was built on a grid system, and it was good.
Yeah, and there were no. Well, no, we didn't see any squalor.
No.
As we have seen in some other African towns.
Yeah.
There was no squalor. They all looked very,
all looked very good, didn't it?
Yeah.
So then we went back on the ship, and had a bit of time on the pool deck, and then sailed into the evening, didn't we?
Yep.
So a nice visit to Walvis Bay, very enjoyable indeed.
Yeah, very nice.
So yes, so it's a goodbye from
me,
and it's a goodbye from
him.
So goodbye.
Barry.